All right, men, welcome to today's episode, How to Stop Worrying About Your Marriage. So I know this is a common thing people come with, right? They're anxious, they don't know what's going to happen. So some of the common marriage worries that guys have are like, my wife isn't coming back. She's separated, or she's asking for a separation, or she's filed for divorce, or in that divorce process. And really the worry, the fear is that she's not coming back. This is over. Our marriage is over. She's going to be with somebody else. Okay, that's a worry. She's going to like somebody else. She's going to marry somebody else. Or while we're married, she's going to be with somebody else. Okay, that's a big fear. She's not going to change. Okay, as much as I want her to, you know, have sex more often, or like not struggle with depression as much, or whatever, it's just not going to get better. Okay, that's a worry. She's not going to want to have sex with me. Okay, another worry. She's going to cheat again. Again, I know it's mainly men that listen to this, but for women, right, you can definitely switch this. That fear that he's not coming back, he's going to be with somebody else, he's going to cheat again, right? Okay, that's scary to think about those things. So, what do all worries have in common? What they all have in common is this fear of the unknown, right? Fear of what's going to happen. It's this sort of black box of the future. We don't know what comes, what's going to happen. What we're telling ourselves, right, is that this is going to be a disaster, right? My life's going to be over. If I have this divorce, my life is over. My kids are going to hate me. I'm going to live in a box under the bridge, right? So that's where our brain goes. So separation or divorce, right? I'm losing everything. I'm never going to be married again. This was the love of my life. I'm never going to, find love again. Repeated infidelity, that's going to hurt me so bad. I don't think I can bear it. I don't think I can take it. Okay. Okay. That this worry that no matter what you do, your spouse won't change. It's never going to get better no matter what I do. You feel helpless. I can't do anything about this. All of these, they activate your fight or flight, or your primitive brain. Okay. So you're interpreting these situations as life threatening, and it's understandable. Sue Johnson's done a lot of research on this. When we feel that separation from a partner, and these are big ones, right? Separation, divorce, infidelity, that's a big separation. Our brain does, that fight or flight does kick in. We interpret it as life threatening. Okay. And so what we try to do then is we try to avoid these things happening at all costs. Okay. We try to make sure that separation or divorce doesn't happen. We try to make sure our spouse doesn't cheat on us again. Okay. We try to do everything we can to change our spouse. Okay. So here's why that doesn't work. Okay. So, with our wife, we're trying to grab onto her, make sure she doesn't leave. No, I'm changing. Please don't leave. Don't separate from me. Don't divorce me. Right. We make all kinds of changes in ourselves. Look, I'm changing. I'm being nicer now. I'm getting help. I'm going to coaching. I'm going to therapy. Okay. You start spying on her phone, you're saying, because you're trying to prevent this from happening. No, she can't go see with somebody else. She can't do that. I've got to be vigilant. I've got to, try to make sure this doesn't happen. Okay. You're freaking out about the future. Okay. So, yeah, and then maybe you go into mosquito mode if you're trying to, make sure things change. They're like, look, I'm doing so much. I'm being nice. I'm taking care of things. I'm sending you notes. I'm taking care of the kids. So you need to now give me back attention, appreciation, affection, or my life's going to be terrible, right? If you don't change, my life's going to be terrible. And so I'm going to do all these things so that you'll change. Okay. What I would need you to see is, what is your feeling state throughout this whole situation? Okay, when you are in this fight or flight mode, when you are trying to save your marriage, you're trying to grab onto her, you're trying to spy on her, you're trying to, go mosquito mode so things will change. So your feeling state in all of this, it's anxiety, okay? It's fear. Here's what I need you to ask yourself. Is fear attractive to her? When someone's anxious and fearful, is that someone that we like to be around? Okay, no, it isn't, right? So anxiety and fear, that's a feeling state that drives people away. People don't like to be around someone that's anxious and, controlling and trying to control the situation, right? They don't like it. So here's the paradox, right? The more we try to help these situations not happen, right? The more anxious we become, the more we try to stop them from happening, it actually makes it more likely that these negative outcomes will happen. Okay. You're trying to save your marriage, or you're so anxious and doing everything that you can. Your wife doesn't want to be around that, and so she moves away. So it makes it more likely that a separation or divorce will happen. Okay. If you're spying on her phone and you're trying to do all these things to make sure that she doesn't, have another affair, guess what? She doesn't like to be around that anxiety and that fear and that controlling behavior. That makes her pull away more, actually makes it more likely she's going to have an affair. Okay. If you're going mosquito mode and you're trying to, do everything nice for her so she'll be nice back to you and give you attention, appreciation, and sex, okay, she feels that anxiety, she feels that control, she wants to pull away from you. Guess what? Less appreciation, less attention, less sex. Okay. So when you're trying to stop these negative outcomes, when you're trying to stop a divorce from happening, when you're trying to stop another affair from happening, when you're trying to stop, you know, her not being interested in sex, when you're trying to stop her from feeling depressed or whatever, right? It actually makes it more likely that they're going to happen. So here's what you do instead. What you need to do is think past that worst case scenario. Okay. A lot of us, we don't even think 1 second past, if she decides to divorce us, or if things don't get better, or if she has another affair. Okay. We just don't even think past what we'll do. We're just like, no, I can't even imagine that. And again, this is your brain. It's a natural response. Your brain's just kind of shutting down to kind of protect you, right? It's that fight or flight mode. But thankfully, we have a more developed brain and we can start thinking beyond that. We can understand that sure, these things are terrible, but they actually won't kill us. It might seem like they will, but really it won't. Okay. Yeah, you have to figure out, like, what's my life actually going to look like if these things happen? And really, it's probably not as bad as you're imagining, right? So you need to do that. You need to go past it, think, okay, if we get a divorce, what actually is likely to happen? And you need to decide what you will do. Okay. So those two things, try to figure out what life's going to look like and then what you're going to do. Bring the power back to yourself where it belongs. Okay. So let's think about this. So she separates from you. Okay. She just decides, look, I'm separating, I'm moving out. Okay. So most of us don't want to think past that. But instead, what you want to do is you want to think, okay, so she separates now. Okay. She lives a mile away or whatever, and I live here. Okay. Yeah, that's hard. Of course it is. But it's not the end of the world. It happens to people every day. There's like 2,000 divorces every day in the United States. So lots of people are going through this. They don't seem to die, right? So if we're separated, okay, yeah, what does that actually look like? Yeah, it's kind of a pain. We got to coordinate with the kids. We've got to drive back and forth. But, what else happens? Well, I got more time to myself. I can kind of pursue the things I like. We can both maybe approach this as a dating situation if you're both kind of wanting to work on things. I can really use this as a time to build up my strength and skills to understand what makes a marriage work. Okay. I'd be happy to help you with that. If you want to do that, use the time for that. And then what do you actually want it to look like? Well, what would be my ideal? If we are separated, how can I make the most of that? Right? That's what we're talking about. So, how does that feel? Does that feel super anxiety provoking? No, right? Because you've got a plan. If she separates from you, look, I'd rather she didn't. But if she does, what's it actually going to look like? Yeah, it's painful, but, I can get through it. Or let's say she divorces you, right? The divorce actually happens. Shoot, well, that's hard. My life's over. No, it's not. Your life's not over. Okay, it isn't. So just start thinking, well, what am I going to do? Well, I guess I'll just keep going to work and, I'll spend time with my kids when it's my time and all of that. You know, I can talk to other people who have been divorced and kind of get a sense of how that worked. Okay, so what's life actually going to look like? Yeah, you'll live in separate places. You'll have to coordinate with the kids. You're going to be paying child support and alimony. Yeah, that stinks. You'd rather not do that. But, it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. Okay. What do you want it to look like? How do you want that divorced relationship to be? You want it to be, I'll answer that for you. You want it to be as good as it can be, right? Because you want to show your kids, hey, if you guys end up getting divorced someday, you can still have a cordial relationship, with each other and still be good parents to the kids, right? You want your kids to get through this. And that depends on you learning the strengths and skills you need so you can demonstrate those to her. Okay. So what about, she has another affair? So again, you don't want to go there in your mind, but you need to if you want to not be so anxious and fearful. So you need to just make a plan, right? If she has another affair, what are you going to do? Are you going to still try to work through things? If so, great, right? You don't have to worry about it as much if you have a plan. Are you going to divorce her if she has another affair? Okay, great. Now you have a plan, right? And so now you don't have to think your life's going to end. You just know what you're going to do, and you can stop worrying so much about it. Okay, what if she continues to not make the changes that you ask? Again, you just got to ask yourself, what am I going to do? Okay, your life's actually going to look about the same as it does now, so you're not going to die. Okay, if you feel overwhelmed by it, you probably do need to do something different, but it's on you, right? You can't actually change her. You can ask her to change. She can say yes or no, and then it's back on you. Okay, it's my turn. What am I going to do? That's what's called a boundary, right? You can ask to do something, and then if she doesn't do it, you get to choose what you get to do. That's the power. That's the power that you have. You have power over your life. Okay. So are you going to, start a separation process? Are you going to divorce her? Are you going to, seek out your own coaching and counseling to figure out what to do? Okay. Again, you get to choose what you're going to do. So here's why this works, right? So having a plan actually removes anxiety. Anxiety is the fear of the unknown. So you're making the unknown known. If this happens, then I will do this. Okay. Now you don't have to worry about it. It reminds you of your power. Okay. That, yeah, you can't control what your wife's going to do. You cannot. You can influence that by behaving certain ways and making requests and setting appropriate boundaries and all of that and the skills that I teach. But at the end of the day, she's going to do what she's going to do. Okay. And you are going to do what you are going to do. Okay? That's the power that you have. You get to choose what you get to do. So now you have a plan. You remind yourself, I have the power to choose the direction of my life. How does that feel? Okay, that feels calm and that feels confident. Okay? You're not trying so hard to make this thing not happen, right? You're saying if it happens, that'll be sad, but it'll be okay. Instead of saying, no, it can't happen. It can't happen. Don't leave, which is anxiety and pushes her away. Now you're saying, look, I don't want you to leave, but if you do, well, I guess we'll have to deal with that. I don't want it to happen, but, um, if it does, I guess we'll figure something out. Again, that's calm, that's confident, and that's attractive to her. So again, it's very counterintuitive, guys, but the more you try to make these things not happen, the more likely they are to happen. Again, because you're anxious and driving her away. The more you can accept, hey, she might choose this, and here's what I'm going to do, the more calm and confident that you feel, and the more attractive you are, and the less likely it is that those bad things are going to happen. Make sense? So one of the guys in our recent group, we were sharing wins with each other. We had some great wins a couple weeks ago. Guys who are having that intimacy with their wife that they didn't have before, feeling this confidence. But one guy made a comment that I really loved. He said, I feel like now I'm finally playing a game that I can't lose. Because the game of trying to control your wife, of trying to make her come back, of trying to, make sure she doesn't have another affair, of making her change and appreciate you more, that's a game that you are going to lose. Okay, you're already losing it. It doesn't work to try to control somebody else. But instead, when you focus on, hey, I can make a plan for myself. I have the power to choose what I want. I have the power to become a great person and a great choice for someone to be with. Okay. That's a game you can't lose, because even if your wife doesn't choose you, if you become a great choice, you have won. You really have, and you're going to attract a great woman to you, period. So again, you're playing that game you can't lose because you're operating in what you can control instead of trying to control what you cannot. All right. So in summary, here's what you can do, right? So today, write out that worst case scenario. What am I really afraid of happening? Maybe it's a divorce, maybe it's separation, maybe it's your wife having another affair, maybe it's that your wife will never change and appreciate you or have sex with you the way you want. So write that out, and then really think about what your future will realistically look like if that happens. Are you going to die? No. What will it actually look like if you're divorced, if you're separated? What are you going to do, okay, if things don't change? The other thing you want to do is kind of plan in some grieving time, right? Because look, it is hard. It's hard to think, man, the future that I thought was going to happen, it's not going to happen. That's super hard. And so you do need to grieve that. Yeah, that's sad. Of course it is. But look, now you need to choose what you're going to do. Okay. So yeah, if there's a divorce, yeah, that's sad. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't want that to happen. I'm sad about that. But I'm going to make the most of it, right? I'm not going to die. My kids aren't going to die. Okay. So again, write it out. Think about how you would like things to look like and choose what you're going to do. Okay. If she has another affair, of course, like I'll be hurt by that. I would hate that. But now I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to divorce her, or I'm going to try to work through things, or I'm going to demand, or well, demand, I don't like to use that, but I'm going to ask that we go see a counselor together. And if she doesn't, then I'll divorce her, right? Whatever it is, you just need to get clear on what you're going to do. So when you have a plan and you know you're not going to die if these things happen, okay, your anxiety is gone. You don't have to worry about it because you know what you're going to do. And that produces confidence. Okay, and that confidence is attractive. So it replaces that unattractive anxiety and fear with attractive confidence. And that's what you want to do. Just realize, guys, things are going to be okay eventually. Okay, eventually you will have a great relationship. Now, this is assuming that you learn the skills that it takes to create that. Okay, how you got into this situation, right? Part of it has to do with you, and so you need to figure out what part of that is you. Okay, and work on that. So, what are the skills that it takes? It takes confidence. Okay, it takes communication, and it takes connection. Okay, so confidence is really about, believing in yourself and trust. Communication, being able to talk about things. Connection and intimacy, that's how you relate to another person. Again, the strongman system is going to teach you all these. And again, you're going to create that great marriage either now or in the future. So this is Milos. He went through the program. Okay. His wife ended up divorcing him. He wanted it to work. She said no. Okay. He had a hard time with his kids for a while because of that. He had done some things that were not right, and that's what led to the divorce. And his kids were upset with him for it. But he built up these skills. He became that better, stronger man. So this was a message he sent just a little bit ago here, and I love it. He says, "My over a year-long prayers were answered, were listened, but in a different way than I thought and was praying for. I would even say contrary to what I was praying for. I feel that our good Lord has given more than taken away last year, and more than I asked for, more and better. Met this amazing lady, and it was pretty much love at first sight. This incredible woman with her friends was praying and fasting for a man like me to enter her life." That means a lot to me, right? That these guys connected. He built himself into the man that God wanted him to be. This lady was looking for that kind of man. God connected them, right? When you become that kind of man, things do work out, guys. They really do. So after the worst year of my life, once again, I'm feeling loved, appreciated, happy, and blessed. She treats me and makes me feel not just like a regular man, but like a king. After all, reina in Latin means queen. Yes, as of my heart as of now. Regina, thank you for stealing my heart, for your warmth and care, for praying together as from our second date, for making me feel that way again, for the taste of your lips, ... So awesome. He did it, right? He built the skills. He created that kind of relationship, and you can do it too. So the strongman system, that's my program, teaches you how to build those necessary skills. Again, those are confidence, communication, and connection. So confidence is about trust, right? Building trust in yourself, being a man of integrity, a man of your word, being a man on a mission, having purpose, building up that self-worth to where it's unbreakable, being able to confront yourself, look at those negative parts and really change them. It's hard to do that unless you have some sense of yourself that you're not going to fall apart when you see those negative sides of yourself. Next part's communication, which is a deep understanding of yourself and your wife, right? Really understanding your thoughts, your feelings, why you're acting the way you are, okay? We have a specific model we use to do that. And then understanding your wife, kind of thinking in those same terms, okay? And then having the emotional management of your thoughts and emotions to have difficult conversations with her, okay? And then connection. Connection is about getting to wins for both of you, having things that really work for both of you with money, sex, in-laws, parenting, religion, housework, all of that, okay? Then bringing that passion, intimacy, and fun back to the marriage. Being able to ask for what you want, being able to set boundaries, say no to things. Even when your wife asks you, sometimes you're going to say no, okay? That's that last piece, an important piece. That's how you both feel like you're winning in the marriage. Okay. So look, I'd love to teach you these skills. You can learn them and you will create an amazing marriage either right now with your wife you have now, or if things are about to end, right, you'll be ready for that next relationship. It does happen sometimes that people get remarried to their same spouse after learning these skills. So you got to learn these skills if it's going to work and last long term. All right, so visit MikeFrazierMD.com to learn how to join the Strongman system, and I will see you there. All right, men, stay strong. We'll see you next episode.